and so I decided not to get anything to eat. Oh shit. That means it's 11, which is when I'm ready to start this. But I realized... no. So I realized I wasn't hungry, so I decided not to get anything to eat. And then I came up with some applesauce, so that's cool. That totally went against what I wanted. But I have some tea, so that's awesome. So we're going to be working on Hades. You know what? I have not worked with 4 point. Whoa. What the? Okay, hold on. Let me try doing some stuff. Well, that actually didn't work. Okay, hold on. Pretty sure there's a way in here. Although I shouldn't be in this. Okay, so somewhere in here there's like a view section, and you can pick display, toggle quad view. Yes. So this is normally how the quad view is. I mean, you use it in blueprint design. I actually don't really need this, but you have top, front, and right. I'll set the heat on because I'm cold. I'm gonna try to use it. You know what? I don't need a timeline. Okay, yeah, let's just use this. So I'm working on Hades' helmet. His hair is going to be a problem, so is his ears. But I mean, he's never going to have them on. There could be 2 Hades. It would be better if I could just get his it to look good on him. Scale. On the Z. No, everything except the Z. To do that, you have to do Shift Z, and it skips it. Come on, man. Why is your hair so freaking far out? And I know the answer because I did that. But I think I'll just use 2. Anyway, okay, let's move on. We don't want the camera. I also think that this should be in more. Actually, come to think of it, huh? I guess there's a good reason why I don't have it like that. You know what? You know, I'm also gonna listen to Jank. think it's a German or French name, so the C is pronounced as a J. So, and today is Oregon and Kentucky voting, which, you know what, let me quickly look that up. Democratic primary. Oh dang, he only needs like, well, yeah, 300, but Sanders in the lead for Oregon. Kentucky. Hillary is beating Bernie in Kentucky by 0.5%. That's freaking close. A very, very narrow defeat. I mean, they should be getting the same amount of delegates. Which, it sucks, but that's it. It's great he was very narrowly defeated. Where's my Twitch? There it is. Alright, let's fix this. There's gotta be a way for me to take out some of these. Nope, I need them. I can this might not even matter as much. Why is your head so round? It's your fault. Don't tell people that. It's probably not nice. Just saying. Just making sure that's helping over there. Don't want it out that much, Jesus. This is looking good. Alright, let's pretend his ears aren't sticking out. And, honestly, we're not going to worry about extruding. Let's start with a new plane here. Maybe we should. You know what I should also do? Probably cut this in half, which is something I probably should have done from the start. Alright, I'll I'm gonna turn that off. We want clipping 1. Think. Do I want that? I think it might be better if I whoops. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. This might be better. Whoop. Bam. Somehow I need to fix that. 1, 2. Do not know how though. One, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now where was I? I think I was working on something and I lost it. Oh yeah. Great, so starting here. Oh, that helps a lot, actually. what would have helped more was would be doing that. Don't really want a triangle, but looks like now I have one. Okay, anyway, let's start here. Let's look up Roman helmet. Did I even? Okay, I do have a spoon for my applesauce. I have tropical banana applesauce. Oh, that is good. Let me see. Alright, so it does go down to the very back, it seems. Well, that one doesn't. Well, we're looking at two different types of helmets. There we go. Alright, that crappy post or paste one looks not wonderful. Dude, this what did I say? Tropical banana? It is so good. I don't think you can really gain a lot of weight on applesauce, so I think it was a good choice, but I was still not trying to eat anything. Alright, I also have some tea here, and let me move my water bottle. Bottles. Apparently I have a few. And put my tea in a safer spot so I can move my microphone forward. Get ready for the action that I don't know. I don't think there is gonna be any action. I'm sorry, guys. So it does look like Oh, that's weird. Does look like we are gonna go all the way down for the most part. Let's stop at the nose. Before I would do this, I kind of wanna. What is it? Control tab? Vertex. I'll do the backs look. I don't think like this. Maybe closer to that. This seems good. I'm sort of liking this. Still having a problem with this thing though. Seems like it fixed a lot. Okay, now we can do what I wanted. So what is it? Control tab, we're gonna go to face mode, do Alt on here. I think I set up to the nose, which is around there. And okay. I really should fix that, but I think I can fix that later. So extrude out. Actually, we want to extrude SX in. about this much. This isn't good. What is this even? I'm gonna have to do another extrude though. Let me see. Apparently I gotta fix it anyway. So straightness. Whoa. Let me try that again. This is all I want. Apparently somehow I had that one selected. Okay. Once again, I'm actually going to select them one by one. Around this. Okay, I cannot see my background image, so let's fix that. We have a problem. Which is easily fixable, I believe. Once again, the best way... At least the vertice way of doing this. I believe. Would be separating it entirely. Which actually I'm going to press P. Oh, crap. There we go. Um, edge slide. I don't know if I can do this, but certainly worth a try. Oh wait, no, flat faces. Nope, that did not work. Alright, in that case, I would have to do that. And I think, yeah. Goes out a little. Alright, we might as well just stick this on, which isn't working anyway. Vortex mode. Center. Maybe that's why it didn't work. Nope. Oh yeah, Shank, that's right. I was going to turn on something.
Chaos that happened in the Nevada State Democratic Convention. So, as we showed you the chaos that happened in the Nevada State Democratic Convention, CNN didn't show you that chaos. Here, I'm going to play the clip again. Let's actually go back and show them the ending of the convention. The video we just played in another story where Roberta Lang gavels to close the end of the convention. As she has done funny throughout the day, asks for aye votes and nay votes, and then ignores them completely. Now, here's what CNN never showed you. Let's watch.
She got pissed off.
That was not a Sanders supporter getting violent with the gavel. That was the Democratic Party chair in Nevada, right? Ayes, aye. No, nays, no! The ayes have it. Bam! I'm gone. Okay? So...
Mic drop.
That... Shh, don't talk about that. I mean, even John Ralston, who they respect more than anyone else as a reporter in Nevada, who clearly can't stand the Bernie Sanders people, dripping with sarcasm with everything he writes about them, calls them rabble-rousers without a cause. Even he had to concede, well, those votes were ridiculous. Obviously, the no's were louder. Obviously, right? But CNN didn't think that was an interesting story. With all the interesting videos surrounding it, no, shh, don't talk about that. But now that the Hillary Clinton campaign has said that Bernie Sanders people, supporters were violent, with no evidence, they have a bunch of phone calls that no one knows who made them. By the way, again, Hillary Clinton's team has a thing called Correct a Record, where they pay people to cause trouble online. How do we know that they didn't make the calls? You don't know. You don't know, right? But you just stated as if not just a couple of people made calls to Roberta Lang, and if it is Bernie Sanders supporters, it is horrible, and they should have never done that. But they do not represent all Sanders supporters, millions of people in the country, and they certainly don't represent the most liberal senator in the country who has always been for nonviolence. And anyone at CNN who's pretending to be a journalist should know that, does know that, but nonetheless, with no evidence of chair throwing that was alleged, no, hey, you know you're a TV channel, you know that, right? If you got video of it, I'd love to see it. No evidence of violence. You got wall-to-wall cops in the place. There's no video of any violence or any assaults. There's no record of any assaults. But no, we're going to accuse them of being violent anyway. Now, they've got that talking point. Now they'll go to TV. Now that it's an anti-Bernie Sanders meme and not an anti-Hillary Clinton one, okay, let's run with it. So here's Jake Tapper first.
Sanders versus Hillary Clinton and that really ugly convention in Nevada. And Anna Navarro said that Bernie Sanders has the high ground here and he needs to continue to have the high ground and condemn this violence. You and Nia Malika said, not so fast.
So it's ugly, and it was not ugly because they ignored the rules completely. It was ugly because the Bernie Sanders people complained about their rule breaking. That was the ugly part. And we just take it for a fact that there's violence, even though there's no video and no evidence of it, with a room that was filled with cops. But we're going to say it on CNN because it's not like we do news. Okay, so now they say, oh, no, maybe it's not Sanders. So let's go to Maggie Haberman here. She's a New York Times correspondent and a CNN analyst. So I'm sure she'll be unbiased and objective here. Let's see which side she's on.
I think there has been a portrayal of Sanders as sort of above politics and above the fray. A pretty adept politician of several decades, and he wields the blade very effectively, and he's gotten much better about that as time has gone on. But the questions that he's asking about Clinton and the Goldman Sachs speeches, transcripts, for instance, those are wrapped in you are too close to the banks, but those are character attacks. That is what it is.
So, okay, now we've gone from the chaos in Nevada, which they've now completely blamed on Bernie Sanders, to Bernie Sanders wields the blade. And he does character attacks. Now, wait a minute. What Bernie Sanders says is, hey, if you take millions of dollars from corporations, you might actually do something that they want. You know who agrees with that? Over 90% of Americans. Whether it's Democrats taking the money or Republicans taking the money, when they're asked in polls, do you think that money corrupts the politicians? 90% of Americans say, oh, of course it does. What do you think? They gave the millions of dollars for their health? And then you think the politicians didn't deliver for them? And they gave them money again anyway? That these banks have been giving money to the Clintons for 20, actually some of the corporations for 40 years because they didn't get a return on investment? That's not a character attack. That's saying there's something wrong with the system. And whether that system produces Republicans who are beholden to Wall Street and corporations, or Hillary Clinton who is beholden to Wall Street and donations, it is a problem. And when you point out the most obvious problem in the country, one that has animated Bernie Sanders' campaign, and by the way, animated Republicans as well, CNN has an analyst come out and tell you, oh, that's a character attack. How violent of you. Oh, you wield the blade. All right, well, okay, we've got Nia Malika Henderson who's going to speak next. So, I mean, they're going to have somebody on Sanders' side, right? I mean, aren't they always balanced on CNN? No, he said, she said, right? Nah, when it comes to Clinton and Sanders, only she said, and who gives a damn what Bernie Sanders says? So, here we go, another pro-Clinton point. Let's go.
I do think Bernie Sanders, in terms of the high ground, I think they have sometimes played taken the low road too. For instance, he accused the Clinton campaign of sort of being in a collusion with the DNC and illegally fundraising because of their joint fundraising agreement, an agreement that Sanders could have taken part in, but he decided not to. And I think his supporters sometimes do kind of traffic in conspiracy theories and this idea that somehow the DNC is rigged against it.
Okay, so let's break this down. First of all, the usual Hillary Clinton on the high road, high ground. Bernie Sanders, low road. Yeah, that's how liberals are. The ones for nonviolence, the one for saying, hey, maybe we should take up for the middle class and the average American. Low road, low road. Okay, now let's break down what she said there at the end, which is comical. Conspiracy theory that the Democratic Party might be on Hillary Clinton's side. Well, let's take a look at the superdelegate count. These are all Democratic Party officials. Let's see whose side they're on. Oh, 524 are on Hillary Clinton's side, and 40 are on Bernie Sanders' side. Conspiracy theory. I mean, are you saying those Democratic Party officials are overwhelmingly on Hillary Clinton's side? Well, the Democratic governor of Rhode Island, who is an avid Hillary Clinton supporter, closed down 2/3 of the polling places in Rhode Island. A conspiracy theory. What do you think? Politicians play politics? Conspiracy theorists. Politicians playing politics. They never do that. And then the thing that she actually mentioned, the 33 states that funneled money into Hillary Clinton's campaign. So, and she said, well, Bernie Sanders didn't take part. That was her excuse. So I explained the story before. I'll do it again real quick here. The DNC, along with Democratic parties in 33 states, get money from Hillary Clinton donors that have nothing to do with the states that they're giving money to. Montana, Hawaii, all these different states. They're unrelated. These are donors that have been Hillary Clinton donors throughout her whole campaign, throughout her whole career, that have no business whatsoever in Montana or Alaska, right? But they give money to those state parties, and then those state parties funnel all of it back to Hillary Clinton. You know what that is? That's money laundering, okay? Now, it's not illegal because we've legalized all the corruption in the country, right? You want to have billionaires funnel the money through Montana State Party and through the DNC and back to Hillary Clinton? Yeah, of course. Oh, it's a conspiracy theory that the DNC would be on Hillary Clinton's side. I mean, the DNC run by a former Hillary Clinton employee who tried to schedule debates at almost the most unwatchable times on Saturday nights, Sunday nights, and did it so brazen on Hillary Clinton's side. What a conspiracy theory. No. But the 33 state thing is proven. Well, her excuses, Bernie Sanders could have done the corruption too. He chose not to. That's your evidence as to why the Democratic Party is actually even-handed and it's a conspiracy theory against Bernie Sanders. And look at what you guys are doing. You're in the middle of a segment putting a couple of hatchets in Bernie Sanders' back based on no evidence. You don't talk about the rule breaking that actually happened in the convention at all. I mean, you are monumentally biased. But the thing is, if they're watching this, I guarantee you right now, they're so blinded. They're like, outrageous. This guy is a rabble-rouser. He's trying to get people to believe that the DNC, the whole time, and all of these Democratic Party officials who have raised their hand and say, I am for Hillary Clinton, are actually on Hillary Clinton's side. And to say we're biased. Outrageous! No, but you're so biased, you don't even see it. You think, well, I mean, I just got here on CNN, because I'm awesome. No, you got on CNN because you will say things that do not rock the boat. If you rock the boat, you're going to get called radical, you're going to get called a rabble-rousers, and you're going to be shown to the door. If you say, hey, the status quo is awesome, you don't say it in those words, you say it in the words you just said, and that the establishment is right, and the idea that the establishment would be in favor of the establishment is a conspiracy theory, well, that's why you're on CNN. And that's why they're very happy to have you on CNN, so they can pretend to be balanced when in fact the whole thing is, yes, the establishment is great. Now, who do you think CNN is? They are the establishment. And I'm sure that, again, the people that watch this that are on their side will be like, the idea that this gigantic corporation, whose employees and lobbyists are among the top donors to Hillary Clinton, who would like their mergers approved with Comcast by the Democratic president, and who have all of this interest in front of the government, and who make billions of dollars in TV advertising during political seasons, which, by the way, is exactly the money in politics we're talking about, that CNN would be biased? Outrageous. Okay, listen, you can pretend all you want that you're all wonderful, balanced reporters on a news network, okay? But the rest of us aren't buying it. That's why your ratings are miserable. In polls, now the mainstream media is down to 6% approval rating. You all and your cocktail parties might believe each other. We don't. And the rest of the American people are on our side, not your side. And if you wanted to actually look at yourself in the mirror and figure out why, you would look at segments just like that one and go, oh, right, we were all on Hillary Clinton's side without any evidence. Oops! And guess what? Our employers loved it. They had us on again the next day to say the same thing. Young Turks. In Brazil, we have had a significant blow to democracy. The leader of Brazil has been impeached. And so right now it's just a suspension. And I'm going to explain it all to you guys. Now, she was unpopular, but there was an intense media campaign, and the media in Brazil is owned by private interests who are all incredibly wealthy. They ran this campaign against her, and unfortunately it has worked. So first, let me take you through just the standard Reuters article explaining what happened and show you why I started to get red flags about what happened in Brazil. And honestly, I had not been following this closely, so I had no preconceived notions about this situation. But as I started reading in on it, the red flags appeared. So let's start right at the beginning. Brazil's Senate voted on Thursday to put leftist President Dilma Rousseff on trial in a historic decision brought on by a deep recession and a corruption scandal that will now confront her successor, Vice President Michel Temer. Okay, so we've got a leftist president that the wealthy in the country have been going after nonstop. Okay, not a big deal. That happens all the time. It doesn't mean she wasn't corrupt, right? So let's keep reading. But it is a note. Now, with Rousseff to be suspended during the Senate trial for allegedly breaking budget rules, the centrist Temer will take the helm. Well, I got two red flags right there. Wait a minute, I thought this was about corruption. Now all of a sudden it's about breaking budget rules? You have to arrest every Republican in the country if that's the case. By the way, almost all the Democrats in America as well. Breaking budget rules? That's a thing that you get put on trial for? Okay. Well, let's keep going. See, maybe they have something else on her, and that's just the tip of the iceberg, right? Actually, I already read the whole thing and they don't have anything else. Breaking budget rules. That's it. And Tamara is not in her party, the vice president that replaced her. He's a centrist. Okay, here we go. Get the leftist out. Put in the so-called centrist to do exactly what those private interests want. I've seen this movie before. Okay, but let's keep going. Early Thursday, Tamara Aide said the incoming government would announce a series of austerity measures. Okay, now you can say it with me. Of course! Leftists. No, austerity. Okay, the Brazilian people will pay back those investors. Okay? The investors have to have their way. And they will get a good rate of return on the backs of the Brazilian people. Here comes austerity measures. Probably had nothing to do with it. Probably those budgetary rules were so important. Okay.
This is
Joe's
cool.
Crab Shack wanted to attempt experimenting with tipping to see if they get rid of the whole tipping model of paying their waiters and waitresses,
What happened
would their
here?
customers respond favorably? Well, it turns out that out of the 18 restaurants that have experimented with this, only 4 will continue to do so. Okay. So it's kind of interesting. So Joe's Crab Shack customer research indicated nearly 60% of their customers disliked the no tipping program, which launched last summer in Indianapolis and was expanded later in the fall to 18 restaurants in the Midwest. Now again, only 4 of them will continue on with this experiment because all the other restaurants that did so got such a terrible response from their customers that they didn't want to keep messing with it. In fact, they saw a dip in their revenue as a result, which is really interesting.
What
so
happened?
here's what they did. They increased the prices to their menu items, but then they did away with tip completely, okay? So you were not allowed to tip the waiters and waitresses. And the whole point was to pay the waiters and waitresses a minimum wage. I'm not entirely sure what that wage was, so they wouldn't rely so heavily on tipping. Well, customers disliked the no tipping policy for 2 reasons. First, they didn't want to lose control of incentivizing service. And secondly, they didn't trust management to pay the increased price to employees.
Super interesting. So I would have thought that the experiment would have worked. So I was wrong. And I think that those 2 reasons I have a slightly different interpretation of them. So I'm sure that some people wanted to say, hey, look, man, I get to say whether she was a good waitress or not and whether he did a good job. But I think more than that, it's people who like things the old way.
How did I
Right? What are you
break
changing that
this?
for? Oh, no. You tip waiters and waitresses. That's what you do. No, I'm going to hold on. I'm going to hold on for dear life. So, but the second part is, I think, the more interesting one. They didn't trust management.
Yeah.
Right? And so that is something that has taken hold in America. That is, it's unfortunate that it's the reality, but they're right, right? So, but that's what never gets acknowledged in the mainstream press. That Americans have grown distrustful of all people in power. And why? Because they've had bad experiences with people in power. So whether it's a politician or someone in the corporate media, or in a case like this, as a business person, saying, no, don't worry. I had the workers' best interest in mind. And that's why I'm not letting you tip them. Our natural reaction is, yeah, bullshit. I don't believe you. You're making an extra buck, and you're hurting the waiters and waitresses, and that annoys me, and I'm not going to come back here. Okay, which ironically, of course, hurts the waiters and waitresses. So, but the bottom line is, once that happens, and they lost 8 to 10% of their customers, that's a big number.
Right.
And interestingly, their costs as a percentage of revenue went up. So they got hit with a double whammy. They're like, oh, hell no, we're going back.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, part of the reason why that happened is because they opened up a bunch of new restaurants, so that played a factor in their, increased spending. But another thing that I wanted to bring up is, look, I don't think that the customers were wrong in distrusting management, especially when you consider the business model behind Crab Shack. So Crab Shack is part of Ignite Restaurant Group. They have a board of investors, right? And so whenever you have that situation, it is your number one incentive to look out for your profit motive. And that might include cutting the wages or maybe not really looking out for your waiters and waitresses, giving them a wage that's not reasonable.
So you're just one of those jaded Americans, Anna.
A little bit.
Yeah. See, I think tipping introduces a needless stress element to any situation.
Yep.
Like, put it in the bill. Okay, that's fine. I love the experiment. I wanted it to work. And by the way, in 4 restaurants, for whatever reason, it did work. And in the other 14, it didn't, and that's why they changed. But I want to be just clear about this. Their labor costs as a part of their revenue went up, which means that if you take away tipping, actually the waiters and waitresses get paid better. Okay? So now that's just this one company with this one experiment. But part of the reason they're coming back, unwinding it, and maybe this goes to proving your distrust of them, is yes, we lost customers, but we actually had to pay our staff more than we expected. Oh, we don't like that.
Yeah.
Right? So that's why I'm against tipping, because it turns out the tipping needlessly depresses your wages, okay, and stresses out the customer.
There could also be a flaw in this study, right? Because they did increase the price of the food, and so the customers could be annoyed by that, right?
Because they're irrationally thinking, oh, the food is a higher cost. Yeah,
And
but you're not tipping, but people are irrational all the time.
I know, exactly. But, you know, I don't know whether or not these customers knew that the price went up for the food. I just feel like if they do know that the price went up, well, they'll irrationally think, oh, well, this hurts me. That's unfair.
Yeah, I hear you. So there's a bunch of reasons why it didn't work out. But I think it was a worthy and bold experiment. And I'm curious to see how those 4 other restaurants play out. And I'd encourage more people to experiment around with it. And maybe it's just I'm a weirdo who gets needlessly stressed out by how much I should tip people. Okay, but I'm always like, no, I'm willing to pay. Just don't make me judge this person now.
Yeah.
And try to figure out if, oh no, they were like unacceptably slow. I'm going to do 15%. They were wonderful. I'm going to do 20%, 25%. Don't make me make that decision in the day. Just okay. Nobody. Well, you don't go to buy a toy and you're like, well, how much should I tip the guy in China who made this toy? Hey, no, there's a price and you pay it and you move on with your life. The president of Turkey, Tayyip Erdogan, is having issues.
Alright,
with
there's
a
one
German
more that I
comedian.
wanted to listen to, and then I'm gonna go to NPR Clear News. Or All Things Considered, I'm sorry. Man claims edible marijuana made him kill his wife. Okay. That's weird. And then when for it to start live. Where is it? This is
So
going to
back
be
in
interesting.
2013, The Onion was prescient because they went after Donald Trump. At that point, we didn't really know if he was going to run for president, or certainly didn't know that he was going to win the Republican primary. I mean, no one in the world knew that. But what we did know back then is that he was still a douchebag. He's a douchebag before, he's a douchebag now, and so none of that was surprising. So The Onion wrote a piece about him back then. It's just a couple of years ago, and the headline was, "When you're feeling low, just remember, I'll be dead in about 15 or 20 years." And they wrote it as if it was Donald Trump. Now, they did that because they do satire, right? So they make fun of public figures, as is their constitutional right. So now, of course, Donald, since he is a little baby, didn't like that, and he cried about it, and he had his lawyer send him a letter. Dude, it's The Onion, man. But he can't take a joke. He's so thin-skinned. So the attorney for Donald Trump writes it. "Let me begin by stating the obvious. The commentary was not written by Donald Trump." Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. It's a comedy magazine. Of course it wasn't written by Donald Trump. And by the way, that's why you can't sue, because everyone knows it wasn't written by Donald Trump. It's a parody. Oh, yeah. All right, he continues. "The article's absolutely disgusting piece that lacks any place in journalism, even in your Onion." Yeah, but it's not journalism; it's comedy. So if
Damn.
Onion was trying to be a lower grade version of the New York Times, you'd say, oh, wow, it's not even journalism befit of the Onion. But it's not journalism. It's comedy. Guys, these guys are so dense, man. They can't take a joke. And it's just the same with all bullies, right? All you got to do is push him back a little bit. He's like, whoa, 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 don't touch me, don't touch me. Okay, now they're going to take it over the top. His attorney continues. I am hereby demanding that you immediately remove this disgraceful piece from your website and apologize to Mr. Trump. I further ask that you contact me immediately to discuss. This commentary goes way beyond defamation, and if it is not removed, I will take actions to ensure that your actions will not go without consequences. Guide yourself accordingly. What a goofball. He's trying to intimidate and bully everybody in the country. Like, guide yourself accordingly. Who says that? I mean, other than Bane, right? I'm surprised they didn't put in there, this is the moment of your liberation. I was wondering what would break first. Your spirit or your body? Although he did later say that to Marco Rubio. So, hey, it's parody. They have every right in the world to do it. They have a constitutional right as decided in actually the Hustler case. And if you're an attorney that even barely graduated and barely passed the bar, you know that. But this isn't about that. It's trying to intimidate the press. And this is even before he was running for president. And now then he threatened to sue the New York Times the other day because they ran a story about his ex-girlfriends. And hey, conservatives, I gotta ask you something. Weren't you the guys crying for the last 20, 30 years? Oh, torn reform! Oh, the liberals like to sue too much! They always suing! Well, here's the guy. There's no one who's more litigious in the country than Donald Trump. I mean, if you look at him sideways, he'll sue you. And he's your hero now. What happened? I thought you wanted tort reform. I thought there was too many lawsuits in the country. Just admit it. You're all hypocrites, and you don't care about any of those issues. The only thing you care about is he's against the Mexicans and the Muslims. He can sue anyone he likes. That's my boy! Okay, that's what Donald Trump and his supporters are about. Well, I'm sorry. We should be fair. You got to give both sides here, right? So Donald Trump called in earlier, and he told us this. Oh, I'm sorry. To be fair, that was John Miller. Something fascinating is afoot. Now, James Comey has come out just yesterday and said, yes, the investigation of Hillary Clinton is not some sort of inquiry. There is no such thing. It is an investigation. That's what we do at the FBI, right? And then, all of a sudden, Hillary Clinton supporters who are in the role of cleaning up for her started appearing on TV. I'll get to that in a second. And then Biden came out, and Biden said a couple of things that really make you go, which I'll get to in a second. But first, clues started to appear from the right wing. Now, easy to dismiss those, right? But recently, for example, Boehner just said that, quote, he would not be surprised at all if Clinton has to withdraw and Biden parachutes in. Okay, easy to dismiss Judge Napolitano on Fox News and his so-called sources. You might think it's easy to dismiss Boehner, but I told you on this program right after the Indiana primary, so all the way back then,
Whoa.
and the chatter in Washington among reporters was that if Hillary Clinton gets indicted, the Democratic Party will not support Bernie Sanders, and I reported on this program who they would support, Joe Biden.
All right, close that. This is going to be black metal, which means certainly not that dark. And this is actually going to be a new one called black hair. It's actually going to be a lot darker. I have to assign it too. And barely any let me see something. Blender hair specular. Let's see. Okay, that's bad. Oops. Control tab, face mode. This too will have to be black hair. We're gonna add the black metal. It's gonna be a little bit darker. Image JPEG. Helm. How many, let's see, Greek mythology project, guy, Hades. Alright, I only have one Hades file. Oh, I actually don't have many images of Hades. Still need to fix his outfit. There we go. All right. I think I need to raise this up some. Um, why do I have two triangles? That doesn't make any sense. Why? What the hell? I have two triangles here too. What is going on? That might have been on purpose. I don't know what the purpose was though. Now that seems like I might need a triangle there. Let's just leave it here for now. Alright, this screenshot I'm gonna share on the Hades page. Which is on my, whoa, you can now view page insights. Oh, cool. That is, that's cool. I'm still not actually advertising my Facebook page to people because I'm not done. Paid. Oh, that's because I haven't paid for anything. So all my page views are organic. I do want to test that eventually once I finish my website. But anyway, I came on here to submit the Greek mythology Hades image. Alright, so helmet is fixed. Texture helmet eventually. Again, he won't. So the helmet renders him invisible. I like it. I wish I could fix this, but I'm afraid I really can't. Kinda did. Huh. That's the best that I can do. And I think it looks pretty good. I like it. Timeline. I do need my timeline now. Bam! basically at 0, lock rot and scale. Yeah. And then at 1, it'll, Jesus Christ, this thing is huge. It'll just, I guess, be down here by his side. Oh, his hair. I'm gonna have to turn off flux for about an hour. Forgot I had tea. What the heck? What's happening? It's doing all kinds of weird crap. Where is his hair? Alright, black hair. Black. I think that was Black Hawk Down. What popped up at first. What? What is the point of that? Oh, snapping. So that's what's been wrong. Are these not smoothed? I don't know where those are, but I'm assuming I don't need them. I need smooth faces. Yeah, they were. Well, some of them were. Anyway. Not too bad. Definitely want to whoa. Hair. I go with that hair. See, that's going to be a problem when I start importing a whole bunch of different materials. Alright, good. That's working on both of them. I mean, I don't really need any of the faces underneath, which actually means I should select and hide and just start like deleting. At least my hair goes into like a small little corner like this. Okay, so what is wrong over here? Is this still something that I can't... Control E edge slide, please work. Nope. Control, whoa. Control E edge slide, nice. Shoot. What is that? Oh. Body parts that won't be seen. Alright, save this. And I want to quickly Hades 2 JPEG. Greek mythology, Hades. Images 2. I need to work on the robe more. Alright, where's Hades? There we go. So how... Hades has like a strap. Yeah, that would be helpful. I could have whoa, Jesus, I could have something merging out of here. Maybe it'll be better to add a piece. Okay. Shift add plane. And you know what? I'm gonna do this outside of this. So shift add plane outside. Rotate 90 degrees on the Z. Whoa. 90 degrees on the X. Thank you. The Z might have helped that. I don't know. Once again, I'm kind of going off the Disney version of this piece. And to make this, what is it, Alt H? Whoa. Alt B. It is around, at least this thing is around here. This is more over his shoulder. Could I just stay in like Command 3? Command 3. Stop it. Yeah, alright. We're definitely gonna need that now. I'm gonna now start on Hades 2. Whoa, whoa. I lost. Alright, close that. There, no, that's not Hades. That's not Hades. Don't need that. Here we go. I'm not liking the cloak very much. I don't know. Alright, let's just keep going and seeing where it goes with that. I kind of think this is very unrealistic. Alright, my stomach is very unhappy with me. Cloak. Hades. Cloak. How do I do double-sided? Do I just like... Hades, cloak, and cloaking. Yeah. Oh man. I haven't turned on NPR News yet. That sucks. How should I do this? Alright, so we're gonna have one more loop, sort of. I wish I had a better way of doing this. Size Z. Okay, Blender double-sided plane. Whoa, what happened? Texture face tab. F9. Well, that's not helpful. To side button. And add UV texture. I wonder if it's under image mapping. All right, Control F. Click face mode set. I don't see any face mode set. Now let's try Control F. Blender two-sided face. The past year. (2016). What the heck? Whatever. It doesn't matter. I would prefer to just fix it like that. Bam. So I'm actually gonna finish the rest of this tomorrow. I wish there was an easier way to do this. And there is, I'm sure. I would need to... I would need like a bevelier type thing. Maybe I should do that. Probably. But right now I'm gonna take a break. Apparently I've already been on here for 2 hours. And I will continue to work on his cloak. Actually, I want to get a little bit more of the Mad Hatter thing done. So for now I'm done, and later on I will work on the Mad Hatter. But I think this is so far looking nice. I think there's an easier way for me to do it, and I'm gonna try that. So thank you for watching, and I will hopefully, I guess, work on this tomorrow. Not entirely sure. Alright, good night.